to my channel. So today, as you already know by the title, I'm gonna do a story time. And before I get into the story, I just quickly wanted to give you guys more of what you will be seeing in my channel. So I'm hoping to upload videos twice a week, Mondays and Fridays. Mondays, I want to keep it just for vlogs, and then Fridays I want to do like a mystery Friday where every Friday will be a different video. It can be a tutorial, get ready with me, haul, story time, prank, anything. And please don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Okay, so today's story time, as you already know, it's about the time that I almost got arrested. So I want to apologize really quick. I was hoping to get, I had a picture. Unfortunately, that picture, I couldn't find it no more. It's been 10 years since that happened, so we move, things get lost, so unfortunately I couldn't find the picture. I was really hoping to find it so that I could show it to you guys, but I lost it. So anyways, like I said, this happened exactly 10 years ago. I was 17 and this happened in Utah. I used to live in Utah for a few years, so I used to work and go to school, so a lot of the time it was just work, school, work, school. So sometimes it would get really hard, so I needed to go out with my friends, with my cousins. So this particular night, it was a Saturday. I just had been working all day, and three of my cousins had been at the house drinking. So my cousin and her husband had also recently moved to Utah, so it was whenever we could, we would go out. And that day, they were drinking at the house. They had a few beers. I go with them, and then we decided to go out. It's a Saturday. We were not doing anything, so we wanted to go out. Now, for those who don't know, Utah is a Mormon state, so especially back that year, like those days, it was really rare, the places that would sell alcohol after like midnight, or even like there were just a few dance clubs that sell alcohol. Most of them would not sell alcohol inside. So they had been drinking already, and I wanted to take a little sip before going into the club. Now we're young, of course, and so we decided, oh, let's take a few beers. We'll drink them before we go in the club, just so that we are like in the mood, and then we'll be fine. So we do take a few beers, and we head out. Now, my cousin, the one that was driving, was not drinking, obviously, but he had already been drinking, so he could, he had alcohol in his system. And my cousin, her husband, and I, we were, just waiting to get there, and then we would have a few beers, and then we would go in. Well, we get to the club, and then we park, and where we park, my cousin turned off the car, and then my cousin's husband was up front, so he's like, hey, can you put this beer can to the back? So I'm like, sure. I grabbed the can. So we're doing movements in the car where you can see the beer can, and we had no idea, but next to us, well, not right next to us, but in a distance where they could see us, there were some undercover cops. Now, we had no idea, so and we weren't doing like we weren't even gonna drink them because we were like, oh, it was late. It was like 10:30, 11. So we were just passing the things to the back. And so one of the cops gets close. And again, they were undercover cops, so he was wearing regular jeans, a jacket because it was cold. In Utah, it snows, like it's winter most of the time. So this happened in February, and it was cold. Sometimes it snows till like end of March, 1st of April. So it was still considered winter at this point. So he has a jacket and everything, and he knocks on the window, the passenger window. And so my cousin, the one that was next to me, by the corner of her eye, she sees that he's carrying a gun. And our first thought is like, oh, they want to like take the car or like take our money, because again, he was dressed like a regular person. Um, Everything happened really quick. My cousin was just the one driving, was just telling us, like keep calm, like don't open the doors. So when this was going on, the cop, I guess he kind of, oh yeah, they think I'm not a cop or something. So he opens his jacket, the badge, so he's a cop, and we're like, oh, it's a cop. Oh, it's a cop. So he asked us to get out of the car. We go outside the car, and then unfortunately, he wasn't a very nice cop. He was like a really rude cop. So he was just like yelling at us and like acting all tough when we were like cooperating completely. Um, so he separated us. He's like, you go there, you go there. So he didn't want us to talk to each other. And then he started calling one by one, getting their IDs, information, blah, blah, blah. So the first one that he called was my cousin, the one that was driving. Now, it took a little longer with him because, like I said, he had previously been drinking at the house. So he could smell the alcohol, but for some reason, and till today, I'm like, thank you, Jesus. Um, Everything that he was asking him to do, like blow on the little um, breath detector and like walk, everything he was passing. So he was getting so upset by the second, just because he was like, I can smell the alcohol, I know that you've been drinking. And we were just like confused as well, but glad that nothing was, because I'm pretty sure that he wanted to say that he was drinking while driving, or that we all were like super drunk, but that was not the case. So anyways, since everything was passing as negative, like that he wasn't drunk, he called for backup. So while the other cops arrived, he set him down, and then he continued with the rest of us. Now, for some reason, I was the last one to be called. Now, for those who saw my previous video, I mentioned that I didn't get my license till I was 18. So I was 17, so I didn't have any ID with me. I only had my college ID, and that was it. Like, no identification at all. Like, all I had was literally my school ID, and I didn't have it with me. I left it at home because I didn't thought that I was gonna need it. The club that we were going to, minors could go in, so it was like I had no IDs on me. So when he calls my name, he's like, ID, blah blah blah, and I'm like, I don't have any. And he looks at me, he's like, what do you mean you don't have any? And I said, well, I don't have my license yet, and literally all I have is my school ID, and I don't have it with me. He's like, well, I'm gonna have to take you with me because I don't know who you are. Like, you can be anyone right now. You can. But this time, the other cops had arrived. They had done the same tests to my cousin, the one that was driving. He passed. so they were like, he's not drunk. Um, so they were giving, my cousins like the open container ticket and everything. And so my cousin heard that the cop was being really rude, and he's like, I'm gonna have to search you, blah blah blah. And my cousin was like, wait, she's a girl. If you have someone that it's a girl here that can search her, then go ahead, but you are not gonna search her. Well, unfortunately, since she doesn't have an ID, I'm gonna take her. And he starts to put the cuffs on me. And so my cousin is like, wait, well, can we go and get the ID for her and like bring it back? So at this point, like, we had arrived there, I want to say like 10:30, 11. But this time it was already like 1 or 2. So he's like, I'm not gonna waste my time here for you to go to her house, get the ID, and bring it back. Like, I'm not gonna do that. If there's someone already in her house that can bring the ID, I'll wait for them. But you're not gonna go and then come back. So my cousin looks at me. He's like, we're gonna have to call your dad. And I'm like, sure, like, I don't care. At this point, all I wanted to do was to go home. So my cousin calls my dad, and then again it started to snow. It was really cold. So he decides to go in the car, but obviously he wasn't gonna leave me out there. So he's like, I'm gonna put you in the car. Let me tell you, police cars are the most uncomfortable. Oh my god. So I was handcuffed with my hands on the back, and the seat, the space between the seat and like the thing they have, it's tiny. So I was cold. I wanted to pee so bad because when I get cold I need to go to the restroom, and it was just horrible. So I was really needing to go pee, and I asked the officer, I said, please, can I go inside to pee? Like, I really need to pee. And of course, since he was being like a jerk, he said no. So he's like, no, you don't get to go pee, but do not dare to pee in my car. And I'm like, I'm not gonna do that. Like, oh my god. So in the time that we waited, the cop kind of like got chill for a minute. So he was making conversation with my cousins, and he was like making jokes at this point. So my cousin, the one driving, he decides to be like, hey, so he asked the cop, can I take a picture of my cousin, like me being inside the police car? And so the cop was like, sure. So that was the picture I wanted to show you guys. So he takes a picture where I'm handcuffed and inside the car. And then blah blah blah, they're laughing, they're making jokes, and I'm here like, please, like, let me go. Finally my dad gets there. I was so nervous, I was scared, because my cousin didn't have time to explain everything. All he said was like, uncle, like, they have Ilse arrested, please get her ID, whatever. So I was just like, oh my god, he's gonna think the worst. But he gets there, he gets out of the truck, and he's laughing. So I'm like, okay, good. So he's laughing because he said he got scared at first, but obviously because my cousin called, and he knew that it wasn't something super bad. So finally the cop gets my information, talks to my dad, says, hey, she's a minor, she's not supposed to be drinking, blah blah blah. They had open containers, and so we go home. Okay, so I forgot to mention, for some reason, I don't know if it was because I was scared or I don't know, I told the officer I was 18. So he gave us, my cousins and I, he gave us all like the open container, like, and we were supposed to go to court. So this happened on Saturday. Sunday was Valentine's Day, and I remember because I had to go to work, and then Monday, I go to work, and then I go to school. So I was in school, and my mom calls me, and she's like, what did you do now? And I'm like, what do you mean? So the cop, the same cop that gave us, you know, the undercover cop went to my house and wanted to talk to my dad and everything because they saw that I wasn't 18, I was 17. And so they needed to change my ticket, whatever. So I had to, instead of me going to court, like the same with my cousins, I needed to go somewhere else for like minors. And I ended up not even going to court with my cousins. I went to a different place, and I only saw a counselor, which he basically just asked my dad the questions like, is she a good kid, you know, does she help around the house? And obviously my dad was like, yes, yes. So he said, okay, you're good to go, just pay your ticket, and after like 6 months your record will be erased since you're a minor. And that was it. So my mom was obviously trying to scare me when she called me at school. She's like, she already know why the cop was there, but she was like, what did you do now? Like, the cop is here again. And I'm like, I have no idea, like, I don't know, should I go home? And she's like, no, don't worry. But and then she explained me why. So yes, that was the time that I almost got arrested just because I didn't have my ID with me. Obviously we got, you know, it was like the open container stuff, but me especially, like, I almost got arrested, like taken away because they didn't have any ID with me, any identification. But you know, you're not supposed to do that. You're always supposed to carry your stuff with you. And obviously, if you're a minor, don't drink. And even though we didn't do it, but please don't drink and drive. That's like, you know. But yeah, so here you have my story. Hope you like it. You know, if you like more story times, like I said, you can leave them down below in the comment section. Just let me know what kind of video you like for next Friday. I'll go ahead and do that. And thank you so much for everyone that is subscribed to my channel. Thank you so much. I love you guys, and see you next time. Bye.